Once again, welcome to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. Today we have a very special guest. I've been knowing this young lady for years. She's like a ambassador in our community. She's like a diplomat in our community. But she had a horrible event. Um, when was that? In December? No.
December 25th.
Okay, yes, that was in December. So that was in December. She had a horrible event, and she's going to share the story on our show. But before we begin, okay, so we have the lovely Miss Jamiria Tate Lamar. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing great, Daniel Hardy. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm glad to have you here. I'm excited. I wanted to get you in December, but I know that's a hectic time. There's Christmas holidays and all that stuff. So let's just press rewind and take us back to that day when you was just supposed to be enjoying a night of football, and it turned out to a night from hell.
Okay, it was September the 25th. We went to court in December.
Okay, got it. Okay.
September the 25th of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
My son is a football player for Reinhardt University.
Mm-hmm.
And on that Saturday, we played against Bethel University. So I'm sure that this story that I'm about to tell is going to be kind of hard to vision and understand, because I'm sure no one never seen a coin toss be done on the field with a band.
Right.
So at the time the band was playing
Mm-hmm.
the national anthem.
Right.
So I'm sure referees go by timing on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So in the midst of the band playing and in the process of them coming to a stop on the song, the referees decided to proceed on taking the football players that were about to do the coin toss
Right.
onto the field to the 50-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the game. I'm sitting in the stands. My son had made captain.
Right.
So he goes out, everybody knows Jacorris Lamar cuts the food every game. He taunts the stand. He taunts the other team. He has a good time because he get football ready.
Right.
So he was walking out onto the field, and one of the band members were in front of him. So he took that person. Yes, he did lay his hands on that person and moved them out the way.
Right.
I would say about 15 minutes maybe of them leaving off the field and going back into the locker room and getting ready for the game. We had no knowledge of anything of what was going on.
Right.
But during halftime, when they went back to the locker room,
Mm-hmm.
one of the kids came and got me. That's with the football team. He came and got me and said, "Miss Lamar, they need you." I'm thinking Jacorris got hurt, not thinking that the worst day of my life is about to take place.
Right.
So I go over and I see
this is halftime.
This is halftime.
Wow.
So not thinking that I gets over, I see my son on the phone talking. So
Mm-hmm.
I immediately look at him and say, "Who are you talking to?" He said, "This is my pop." I go to the head coach and his defensive coach, and I said, "What is going on?" And
Mm-hmm.
everybody is in a state of shock.
Right.
Everybody hands on their heads. Everybody looking like, what the HEL is going on? So the head coach said to me, "Miss Lamar, they said Jacorris put his hands on somebody."
Right.
I'm like, when, where, what, how?
Right.
Well, make a long story short, when my son proceeded to go on the football field, the band member that he moved out the way, he didn't know that it was a female. But that female said that he sexually assaulted her.
Right.
Okay.
In
Ludicrous.
Right.
Ridiculous. Ludicrous. Ridiculous. But on top of that, it's humiliating.
Right.
Stand full of fans, referees all over the field. But this is the result that you're saying he sexually assaulted you.
And don't forget,
So
he's in full uniform too. Full uniform.
full uniform, cup on his private.
Right.
So, well, guys, my son was asked for a statement.
Mm.
So at this time, there's what is it? There's a security officer there from Bethel who's standing there the entire time telling me that he just was there. They told him to come there, so he just was there. But there was an officer who came over who got the statement.
Right.
There's another officer come up, but there's another officer, which is so now I'm in a position where I can call names. So let me get real jiggy with it. So Officer Johnny Williams is the security for Bethel, who said he had no idea what was going on. Well, in my police report and on a statement that was in the Tennessee paper, that young man who said that he had no idea what was going on, he was the one that called the police.
Wow.
The McKenzie County Police Department. That's the McKenzie County Police Department is the department that came on the scene, okay?
Right.
Well, Officer Boz, I don't know if it's Boz or Boz, B-O-A-Z. That's the officer that took the statement. The redneck that took the statement, who decided to say, I'm just here for a statement. Well, he called another officer, which was a sergeant by the name of Weaver. Officer Weaver is the one that took the statement and made this bigger than what it was. Officer Weaver is the person that I'm going to die. I'm not going to leave this world until he's fired, he's exposed, and he will apologize to my son. And I mean that. Because he locked my son up in full uniform.
Right.
And charged my son with sexual assault. No, sexual battery. Okay?
Right.
He told us that he put a thumb drive out of his pocket and said, I got it on thumb drive. My son proceeded to say, great. I have my laptop in my backpack in the locker room. He put it in the laptop and it was a black screen that showed up. So but you locked my son up.
Right. In full uniform.
Full uniform.
Right.
Then you locked my son up and you charge us $1,000 cash to get him out of jail.
Right.
And he was only in jail no more than 8 minutes.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, the police report was never available for us until December. So we went through September, no police report, October and November. I never got the police report that I have now until December 22nd. It was never available. So this young lady, she caused us to pay close to $9,000 for attorney fees.
The lady who's in the band, the young lady who's in the band.
My son never knew it was a man, woman, cow, dog. He moved a person out the way.
Right. So I'm trying to get the audience to understand. I'm trying to get the listeners to understand. You're talking about a football player. This is right at halftime, and you got a band members are on the field as well as football players at the same time, which they shouldn't be, but sometimes that happens. She's in his way. He just you know how you grab somebody by the shoulders and pull them to the side, but she's making this false accusation. And this can happen to anybody's son of color, and they'll just take off with it, especially when you're in those little rural towns, But continue, please.
So I don't want to confuse anyone, but I'm gonna move a little. I'm gonna go fast forward and I go back.
Okay.
Because I want to go to December 16th when we went to court.
Okay.
Which is very disturbing to me.
Right.
And this is why that today is going to give me my direction. I was waiting to do this with you.
Right.
Because I want to take this a step further and further and further, because these women, these girls, these young ladies, these women, they are making decisions to destroy people's lives.
Right. And there's no repercussions. No repercussions.
You don't hear no repercussions.
Yes. Right.
But you don't hear black girls destroying white boys. Right. Okay. But you hear, and this young lady was a Hispanic.
Right.
Okay. Not only that, this young lady decided to come to court in sweatpants. She literally had on sneakers with no socks, leggings, and a hoodie. But you came to give my son one of the worst days of his life, but you came to court as though you was leaving Planet Fitness.
Right.
Really?
Right.
This young lady decided to say she wanted to move forward with the case. The assistant district attorney made it very clear that I have the video. That video cost his dad $2,500 to have enhanced. Okay? Right. It was enhanced, and it cost $2,500 to show that he literally took his hand around her waist and moved her out the way.
Gotcha.
Officer Bars, Officer Weaver, and the chief of police is Sawyer. I'm coming for the necks.
Wow.
Because those rednecks made a conscious decision to go to make my son be in a really bad position, cost us money that should have never been paid out. And they go home, lay down every day like it's a slap on the back.
Right.
Slap on the wrist.
Right.
This young lady made a conscious decision to go forward with something she know was ludicrous.
No, it's bogus. It's bogus. Yeah.
No one is walking around with this feeling that we have.
Exactly.
So the case was never dismissed, which I'm confused about. I'm very confused. Maybe someone can eventually, after this interview, come and help me out with this, because McKenzie Police Department and Bethel University and Johnny Weaver.
Where is that, in Tennessee?
Tennessee, McKenzie, Tennessee. I want those rednecks to know that Miss Lamar is not done with them. I don't want them thinking, oh, she's threatening us. No, I'm not threatening you, but you are going to pay for the false arrest. That was a false arrest.
Yes.
So there was an arrest that was made with absolutely nothing but he said, she said.
Right.
So I don't want to put my video in the hands of someone, because modern technology is hell now.
Yes. Yes.
Things can be done, but I want the world. I don't know how I'm gonna make this happen, but I think I don't have peace with this until, and I won't have peace until that video is able to be shown. I have the video in my phone.
Right.
And I don't know how to share that video when I'm on the phone without it trying to be, taken away from me.
Right.
But I want the world to know that this young lady is sick. I want the world to know that Sergeant Weaver is a prejudiced redneck.
Right.
I want them to know that Hicktown made a bad decision for the wrong young man.
Right.
A coin toss, moving someone out the way, has almost cost us $9,000. Not only that, the young lady, for whatever her reason is, act like it was the end of the world. So my son never pleaded guilty. He never pleaded not guilty. Right. And he never pleaded no longer.
Right.
But the assistant DA decided, just take 30 hours community service in a class, and it'll be dismissed in May 26th. So I want that DA at Carroll County in Tennessee courthouse. I want him to know that he's going to be on the hot seat as well. So I'm in a position right now, and due to people like you that come along and help us with these situations to put them out there for exposure, I'm gonna wait in line for my chance. But Carroll County Assistant DA, you're gonna pay for even giving my son that, because she'll never even accept it. But my son decided to accept something because he don't want to deal with it anymore. But I didn't like it.
Right.
But I want that assistant DA. I want Chief of Police of McKenzie, Sawyer. I want Weaver, and I want Balls. And I want that young lady. And my name for that young lady is Miss Red Bottoms, because she came to court as though she left Planet Fitness. We are in court looking like BET, nervous, facing one of the worst days of our life, and she'll come to court so lax like nothing hadn't happened.
Right.
That's a slap in the face. So the
Right.
next time I'm gonna teach her that something so severe, don't never take it so light that you put on sneakers and sweatpants and come to court.
Right.
It's
And
not acceptable.
It's bad because a lot of times they need to come up with a law in every state where a lot of females, I'm not saying all of them, I'm talking about you have somebody just say something and just off the word alone, they could just go ahead and continue with arresting people and falsely accusing them with no evidence. And I think what happens is once when these people go to court and they found out this woman is lying, I think the law need to be overturned and they need to go to jail or pay some type of fine. And that'll alleviate all the bogus charges, in my opinion.
I agree. And I think that with this young lady, yes, and let me share this, because this is the most important thing that I have left out of this whole conversation. This young lady came to court and made a conscious decision to tell the courtroom that she never told her parents.
What?
This young lady from Bethel University, who plays an instrument in the band, made a conscious decision to tell the judge, I never even told my parents. You little girl. Something so severe, you never expressed it to your parents.
But she showed up in court without them knowing.
But you showed up in court without your parents.
Right.
My son had his dad and his mom and his girlfriend down in McKenzie, Tennessee. And this little girl came in court because it was Corona came back out at that time. The numbers were high. So they wouldn't allow us to go in the courtroom. So I'm really angry that my son had to go into a courtroom alone. So that little girl is going to pay for that as well. I'm not going to back down to, I don't want one person to pay. I don't want two people to pay. I want everybody to pay.
Yeah.
I want Bethel University to know that they allowed the ball to drop. Because see, this is what happened. Once that she made this accusation, they told our Bethel University, told Reinhardt University, our head coaches, that on Monday, Title IX would deal with it. Title IX is the disciplinary department at the school.
Right.
So they told our coaches that he just needed to give a statement and stay in the locker room because Title IX would deal with it and investigate it on Monday.
Right.
But due to my paperwork in this police report, Mr. Johnny Williams made the conscious decision to dial 911. So I'm trying to find out who is Johnny Williams to this little girl. Who is Johnny Williams to McKenzie County Police Department? Because when you look at the dots all connect. But I want to unconnect the dots.
Right.
I want them to know that I'm gonna disconnect the dots. So as of today, I'm almost certain that they're still walking around like nothing has happened.
Right, like they never ruined anybody's innocent life. You know what I mean?
I got to remind them. So what has happened is I allowed my page, my IG page is not open. My IG page is private. I was waiting on this interview with you because I'm going to go back and share both of my stories. I was able to save them. So I'm able to go back now and share both of my stories on my IG. And I'm going to open up my IG because I want the Fox News in Tennessee. I want Fox 5 and 11 Alive in Atlanta, Channel 269. I want Sean King. I want Ricky Smiley. I want the NAACP. I want everybody to be very aware of this story because guess what? People walk around so lax, but until they walk those shoes, they don't know how it feels.
Right.
So it's hard to break me. I can't be broken.
Right.
But I will stand strong on this case.
Right.
And I will expose Mr. Weaver. Mr. Weaver, Sergeant Weaver, McKenzie County Police Department, that is a real redneck. He locked my son up fully dressed.
Right.
And then they made him get in the jail and put jailhouse shirt on and take his picture in.
Take off his football uniform and put on jailhouse outfit.
God bless their soul.
Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
God bless all of their souls, because what they don't know is we will be paid out. I don't know who's going to pay our money back, but it will be reimbursed. Right. Pain, suffering,
all of it. And so you could do silver suit with each individual. That's the luxury of this.
Thank you. And I just been waiting on this day right here so I can move forward. Mm-hmm. Because I am going to be sure they pay the price. Mm. They're going to pay the price, because Reinhardt University was wronged as well.
I was going to ask you, did they support him 100%? That was my next question.
I have to say yes. I have to say yes.
Okay.
I have to say that for them, because my son's school, I'm gonna put it all out on the table. Mm-hmm. His white coaches are married to black women.
Right.
His black coaches are married to white women.
Right.
Okay. We're not in denial that racism exists, but in his little world at Reinhardt, that black and white is okay. Got me?
Got you.
So they were all in a position to where they really wanted this to be an exaggeration.
Right.
They wanted this to be whatever. They were still in awe that it even went farther the next day.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This situation was so weird. I'm gonna use the word weird because it's very weird, because my son was able to get locked up, make bond, and get back on the bus and ride back to Atlanta with his team.
Right. That is weird.
Okay. So it's all so weird. Okay. But his coach, his head coach, and our athletic director was told that Title IX would be dealing with it on Monday. It needed to be investigated, and just tell Jacorris to make a statement and go in the locker room.
Right.
So after halftime, with them being told that, they went back to the field to play ball. Mm-hmm. Everybody keeps saying, well, they shouldn't have never left him. They didn't leave him. His mom was there. He was never left.
Right.
It was understood that just sit in the locker room till the game is over.
Right.
Him being locked up, his coach still didn't want to believe it. His coach did not believe that Jacorris had been locked up while he was on the field.
Right.
Because that was not what he was told. Not only that, they allowed my son to play first quarter and second quarter. They never sent no one over to our head coach. They called Atlanta and told our athletic director here in Atlanta. We got 8 coaches that went with us to the game. They never notified no coach both of the periods. Mm. It's weird. It is what it is. Racism is really at its best right now. I commend Ahmad's mom for still standing, because this little snippet has ruffled me. It ruffled me, and it kind of knocked me down a little bit. And I can't be knocked down. So I cannot imagine what that lady has experienced and went through. But that's how I know there's a God. Mm-hmm. I know that. That's how I know that he's real. Mm-hmm. For her to still be standing. Because this little bit with my son has hurted me to the core of my soul, that some rednecks are allowed to make these bad choices, these bad decisions to harm our black boys. Mm-hmm. It didn't stop anything, because May of 2021 was one of the best days of my life. In May, my son walked across that stage with his bachelor's. I'm sorry. Yes, with his bachelor's. Yeah. And this May, he's gonna make me proud again if he walk across that stage with their masters.
There you go.
So they didn't stop anything. It was a bump in the road, but I didn't like that bump.
Right.
And I'm gonna let them know that I did not like that bump.
That's right.
And they're gonna pay for that bump.
They should.
They're gonna pay for it. And like tomorrow I get a chance, I'm gonna open up my page tomorrow now till we have
Good.
made this video here. And I'm
Good.
gonna share it with the world tomorrow.
Please.
I was
Please
waiting on
do.
you, but I really, really, Daniel,
Please.
I appreciate you. Um, from the depths of my heart, I want to say thank you
You're welcome.
for thinking this much of me.
Yes. When I heard your
But I want
story,
the world to know.
when I heard your story, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw you and you was like telling this story and I just stopped. And it was early in the morning. I was listening to it. I was like, what? I was like, get out of here. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, you know. And I was like, well, I got a little platform. I said, well, let me just reach out to her, you know, because that story should get out. Because again, can you imagine for the ones that don't have good parents, decent parents that are still incarcerated to this day because they didn't have proper representation, because they didn't have the funds to get them out, and they didn't have decent parents. Can you imagine?
And I think I have a nonprofit,
Mm-hmm.
Hygiene and Have Self-Esteem.
Okay.
And that's my new journey.
Gotcha.
Because everybody don't have a village.
That's right.
And when you don't have that village, it allows you to be put in a situation that you shouldn't be in. But I can't help everybody. But there are some people that I will be able to help and stand along with them to let the world know that it has to stop.
I agree.
It has to stop. It has to stop. That guy over at Georgia now, I watched him on the news last week. That thing broke my heart. I don't know if he's guilty or not guilty, but I'm sick of the stories with these girls and these football players.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm sick of that.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of them thinking it's okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the time we're in this time where, it's the cancel culture, and it's also a female can just make an accusation towards a young man and with no merits, with no evidence, but it hold a lot of weight. And that's not the proper process on how the law is supposed to work.
And it's not fair. It's not fair. But I do want to say thank you to Archer Eagles.
Yes.
The Perry Home community.
That's right.
I was out last night, and I had people to walk up to me and say, I know it's not the right time for this, but I want you to know I'm praying for you.
Yeah.
And that is why I know that I can't stop, because it's going to help somebody.
That's right.
My son, I told him when I was leaving my sister's 50th birthday celebration. And I said, I got to go do this blog. I said, I hadn't said it to you about it because I wanted to wait till after I did this blog.
Okay.
I said, but I ain't gonna never stop fighting for you.
That's right.
Because there is somebody that no one is fighting for.
That is true.
I feel that McKenzie County Police Department, I feel that they have done this multiple times, and that's why they were so lax with it.
Right.
I feel that they are just bona fide rednecks, and they don't care about Black lives. But for me, Black lives do matter. And they're going to matter to them at some point. I'm not going to rest till Officer Balls and Officer Weaver stand flat-footed in front of my son and say, I'm sorry. They're going to pay, and they will pay in every way, financially, mentally. They're going to pay because I don't want them working anymore, because you guys are not good cops. Because you guys know that coming on that school property and making those decisions, you was out of line.
Right.
I want Bethel University. I'm talking to Bethel right now. I want Bethel University to take responsibility for the ball being dropped on their end. So my police report say, I keep saying this, Mr. Johnny Williams, because I can see him so plain as day in my view, how he stood there and told me and my son, I don't know what's going on. They just sent me to stand here. The whole time he was the one that literally called the police.
Yeah.
I was sent the report that was wrote on my son in the Tennessee paper. That thing pierced my heart. It pierced my heart. I want Mr. Boss and Mr. Weaver and Sergeant Sawyer, I want them to pay for that. and somebody's going to pay for it. So it's a new year. And, you know, like I said on my last video, I allowed them to have 2021. 2022 is going to be mine.
That's right.
And I allowed them to give it to me on a silver platter.
That's right.
And I'm going to give it to them on a platinum. Because they will pay for the hurt they have caused Miss Mimi.
That's right.
They're going to pay. And I thank you so much for this opportunity. And
oh, no problem. No problem. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank
you. Yeah. So again, you're always welcome. Even when you want to come talk about your nonprofit, you want to come do that, that's fine too. So my platform, I talk about a variety of subjects, so it's not a thing. But again, I just want to tell the listeners, we have to get behind and change some of these laws, because a lot of innocent people go down just on false accusation alone. Everybody is not a R. Kelly. Everybody is not guilty just because somebody says something. And you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And then, and in this incident, they should have wiped their hands clean. Once when she put that thing in the computer and there was black and there was nothing, that should have been the end of that, you know. But again, you in those little rural counties, and sometimes they like to try to make an example and abuse their authority because they have these prejudice that they like to exercise when they feel like it. And that's not how it's supposed to be. Thank you again for coming out. I appreciate you. I will keep you in my prayers. Please keep me posted what's going on. And if any way I can help you, let me know.
Thank you. You will see me real soon.
Okay.
Have a good evening. Thank you. Okay. Bye.